Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon now to all European attendees. Good afternoon to our partners from Datto, and good morning to our partners from Password Boss. I know it's very early there. Today we have the privilege to present you with an exclusive 90 minutes, hopefully, webinar where you will be presented with the next generation of Datto's RMM, how to unify people, processes, and data in a single pane of glass, and how to protect your data and keep your business running, along with a complete end-to-end multi-tenant password management solution provided by our new partner, Password Boss. So, without further ado, let me share the floor with our sales operations executive, Sofia Kondouli, who will give us an overview of Datto, RMM, and PCA, right? So
yes.
You can now share your content, and let's move on.
Thank you, Panos. Hello, I am Sofia from NSS. 1 minute to share my screen. Okay, let's start. We will talk about Datto and how we approach helping, especially our MSP partners. As an MSP provider, as a managed service provider, you need to decrease your operational cost, deliver a high quality of service, and maximize your profitability. So, how you can achieve this with Datto? I will start with PSA platform. It's a cloud-based platform that unifies all aspects of your business. PSA, it's for them who wants to run a secure and reliable platform without downtimes. Operation and processes are centralized to maximize your efficiency and make better decisions for your company. So, PSA, professional service automation platform. It's a central hub across the business. For my experience, more MSP partners start with a service desk and the ticket opening process. PSA automate this process with workflows by setting up event triggers to save time on every ticket. So the next step for an MSP partner is probably time and billing and how long a ticket takes to complete, to close. With PSA, sales team have the ability to use reports and have a complete view of closed tickets and finally convert them into invoices and send them directly to end customers. With PSA, we can track business progress in real time and quickly take action. Of course, in PSA platform, we can handle opportunities, quotes, and all the other CRM stuff. And we have a better view of our inventory. And PSA platform, of course, can be integrated with API keys, with other third-party softwares, with our custom systems, and with other with other apps. So all the departments through the company, we will participate and cooperate to have a unique system to control everything. And now we will see DataRM. It's also a cloud-based platform, and it's made for MSPs to manage all SMB endpoints, all assets. DataRM, okay. DataRM allows MSP to audit and discover with real-time visibility into every device. So you can monitor and detect threats in order to be in a position to protect and resolve issues before they arise. Sorry. So it's a highly scalable and secure multi-tenant platform in which you can manage all your remote devices. Also with RMM, you can keep your endpoints secure, patched and compliant. And now, why do you need an RMM? Improve efficiency, reduce your operating expenses, and reduce risks. And of course, in RMM platform, we have ComStore. ComStore is a feature is included in RMM, and with which you can integrate with other applications such as Autotask PSA, Sophos, Password Boss, and to have a library of custom scripts, and you have hundreds of components available free in the ComStore. Thank you for me.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you for the overview. And now let's move on and learn how to protect our data, keep our businesses running with unified continuity, which is Datto's flagship solution trusted by MSPs all over the world. For this presentation, I will invite Matteo Napini, who is the Regional Sales and Distribution Manager in Southern Europe for Datto. Matteo, I think you have now the right to share your content. Thank you.
First of all, thanks everyone for joining. This webinar is being recorded, so I'll make a promise here already right and then that if everybody attending then becomes a Datto client, the next webinar is going to be in Greek. This one is going to have to be in English, unfortunately.
Okay.
We're also going to try something a little bit new, which is actually share a video with you. So it might be a little bit choppy at times. I will be talking over it. So don't worry too much about the image, but let's focus on the message. After that, what we'll do is we will go over some of the reasons why it makes sense to have a unified platform, which we call One Datto, especially in your day-to-day business, as well as the service that you're offering in the end to your end users. So here we start with the presentation. In here, obviously, we have two lovely gentlemen, which are our sales engineers that are showcasing the offer that we have. And we're going to be starting by seeing what the impact is on an end user when you're providing a service with Datto as an MSP. So what happens is we have two fictional characters. We have the end user who's going to be having an incident, but we also have a wonderful MSP, great MSP, who offers all the Datto services. Here, for example, you can see the end user from Richmond Gardens, a very familiar face. And this person happens to have a very, very important presentation to deliver today. Now, he's looking at his files, and he's going to be putting his presentation in the shared folder because he has to go and see a client. And obviously, this is the best way to actually being able to access these files as well. It's very important. He is prepared to be delivering this service, and he's fully confident that his IT won't fail because, well, all the infrastructures are there. They say that it's a very secure environment. What he doesn't know is that we all have that one colleague who always likes to click on things that they shouldn't be clicking. Now, what does that mean? We're going to be seeing it very, very shortly. So now, as we're seeing, he's moving the actual file into the folder, and he's ready to go. In a little while, as you may know, there's going to be also the OneDrive service where you're going to be able to link all your files in there and being able to access it on the go. So again, second layer of security for the end user. He thinks, well, I've got my file locally and I've got my file on the cloud as well. Nothing could potentially go wrong with this. So he's ready and confident that everything is going to be going well. But then something strange happens. He clicks on a file and, well, what happened here? You all know that one client has done it. So the extensions of the files have changed. That is a very, very bad sign. And now we also got a little red pop-up in there asking us for ransom. So, I can't access my files, and I've got this big red thing on my screen, and I have no idea what to do. Now, obviously, the end user is panicking. He's thinking, well, all right, I need to deliver this. So not only am I not able to work, but I might actually lose some business out of this because the presentation that I need to present is quite important. So effectively, this person has stopped working. They've got no way but to pay the ransom if they want to actually get their data back. And have a look, the actual extensions as well have changed in the OneDrive as well. So if he thought he could access this file using the cloud, guess what? Now the files on the cloud are gone as well. So now again, two potential options here for resolution. Now we try and find a way of buying Bitcoin somewhere, forgetting the wallet password and God knows what. Or, well, we actually have our MSP that is going to be able to help us out. So what do? There's two ways that it can actually interact. They have a DataRM Agent installed, and they can open a ticket straight away from the agent. That allows you to take a screenshot and actually ask for support directly to your MSP. You will see that it's a very important issue, and then you will start acting on it. The other option is we pick up the phone and we actually call the MSP. And we say, hey, my extensions have changed. I can't access anything. What do I do? Now we switch back to the MSP's view. The MSP would have been working on the platform that Sophia was mentioning earlier, a platform called PSA. He actually manages all his incoming tickets. He makes sure that everything is done compliantly due to SLA as well. And he knows, for example, the type of tickets that he needs to work on as well. So in this case, we received a call from the client, and what the technician needs to do is open a ticket urgently. So here's our interface for the ticket, where, as you can see on the top right, we already started to monitor the time that you're spending on this incident. First of all, we try and select the different type of ticket categories. We also have speed codes to help you do that. So it's going to pre-populate very much the ticket interface. And then we start get going on the ticket, knowing that it's a very urgent one. As you can see, the status has changed, the priority has changed, and now we've come back with an actual checklist of how to resolve this issue. So the ticket now has all the information needed. So for example, we can go and add the information as well as the configuration item, which is the device, which happens to have the DataRM agent installed in it. Now we're going to see why that's important for in a minute. So what we're doing is we're putting the information about the actual attack, and then that's going to enable us to actually have a ticket that has all the full insights on the incident. So whether we have to pass it on to another technician, everybody's going to have the same view and know exactly what is going on because of PSA. Now, because of the RMM integration that we have, we're also going to access a number of information about the device as well. So automatically, we're going to know what device it is, the last tickets that were opened, as well as the contract that this client is into. What does this mean? That if this type of incident management is not included in the MSP contract that you're offering to your clients already, well, PSA is going to tell you, hey, this is something that we need to bill. This is something that we need to charge the client for. If they have an all-inclusive one, well, it would be included. Now, what we're doing with the integration with the RMM agent is we can actually go and interact directly with the device on the RMM platform. So here on the RMM platform, we've got all the information that we need about the device, all the types of monitors that have been aligned with this device as well, the applications, and of course, it's going to tell us that we've got some sort of issues, for example, that the antivirus has not been detected, which is one of the main issues that happens when ransomware is involved. So now we can go and actually remote access the device directly from this platform. And as you can see, now we have full view of what is going on. We're notifying the client. We know that there's a remote takeover that is currently happening, and we can actually start helping the client. And we've done this in a matter of seconds. So literally from opening the ticket, we went straight into the device, and we've been able to verify actually what the issue is. Now, moving forward, we have to take action on what is going on. So what we want to do is we want to kind of prevent the ransomware from spreading within the client's estate. So what we want to do is go and look at the network of the client and isolate the device that has been infected. Now, thankfully, Datto also offers networking devices, and these networking devices, they can be managed on this portal as well. Every network device comes with an RMM agent already installed, which allows you to actually take control and have a view of the client's network from the RMM platform. So to recap, what we've done is we've opened a ticket on PSA, we've went on the RMM platform, we verified that there is a ransomware issue, and now what we're doing is we're actually going to connect to the switch, take off the ports to make sure that this ransomware attack doesn't spread throughout the client's estate. We click on the Network Manager button, and that is going to move us into the network management side of Datto, where, as you can see, we have a switch, an 8-port switch, where we can go and actually decide what we're going to be doing with these ports. So we have a look, we have all the data that's necessary that you would need for network management. We'll go ahead and select it, and then we can go and decide if we want to isolate the port or not. Again, we've isolated the port. Now we know that through the actual network, this device is not going to be able to infect anybody else. So that's already 1 point up for the MSP. Yes, the end user is having an issue, but what we've done is we've minimized it, and we've also minimized the amount of work that the MSP is going to have to do. Imagine having to solve this problem for the whole company. Now that's going to take quite a lot of time. Now, what we're going to be doing once we've isolated the device, luckily enough, this end user also had a disaster recovery plan in place. And this disaster recovery plan is done through Datto CDR, as you may have already heard of. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to restore the last available backup that was done to make sure that we go pre-ransomware attack. And that way, the actual files and the actual image that we have of the system is not going to be impacted by the ransomware anymore. So what we'll do is we'll go and click right now again on the RMM platform onto the Richmond Gardens site, and we're going to look for the device, which, as you can see, is on the backup management that is actually protecting the data for this client. So now what we'll do is we found this device called RG Series, and we can see exactly what it's backing up and what it's in order. So we can see that the last backup has been done. It's an SP2000 device, and we can then, just like we did for the networking device, actually take over the disaster recovery device with a few clicks. So what this is going to enable you to do is effectively go and restore the data for the client in a matter of seconds. As you can see, the RMM has already collected information, and it's telling you that there's something that is going very, very wrong. And the good thing is that we also have ransomware detection on the backup side, so it'd be protected 2 ways. Now we've accessed the web interface of the device, where we can see all the different folders and the different files that are actually protected by this PCDR device. Now we can go ahead and see that as I was saying earlier, there is an issue with ransomware that has also been detected by the BCDR. So what we're doing is now we're going to go and look at the actual backups that have been done, and we're going to go and select the green ones, which say that ransomware hasn't been detected. Because we work on an inverse chain technology, every backup is independent. This allows us to actually go and pick a backup and restore it back to the point of no ransomware. With a normal backup solution, you wouldn't be able to go as far. So what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be looking exactly at the type of recovery points that we have and pick the one that is most appropriate. We go on the Restore tab. As you can see, we will go and select the server that we want to go and virtualize in order to be recovering the data, and we will select it. As you can see, we have a number of different restore options. So it could be a local virtualization using the actual resources of the device, or we can use the Datto cloud in case something happened internally and that there are some issues and the device is no longer working. So as you can see, we select local virtualization, and now we're at the point where we can select the latest available backup, the one that hasn't been infected by ransomware, and the one that is going to be restoring us back to where we need to be. So we click on Start Restore, and then we decide whether we want to put a rescue agent in the virtualization or not. Now, this is incredibly important because it's going to allow us to either pause the backups that we're doing, and that means that you will start again from the latest backup available, or continue the backups in the cloud. So if you are, for example, in a state of disaster, what you could do is work on a virtualized instance and still have the latest backups available. Once we've selected that, what we're going to be doing is starting the virtual machine to then be able to recover the files for our client. And it's literally a matter of a few seconds whereby we're going to be able to have the virtualized instance of the server, and we're going to be able to get the client the files that they need. As you can see, the virtual instance is ready, and what we can do with a click of a button is literally go and access it. So on the left, you can decide what type of resources as well you want to allocate to this type of virtualization, just to depend exactly on the type of data and the type of disaster that we have. So now that we've done the steps, we go back on PSA, and we are following the checklist, as you've seen, where it says initiate disaster recovery for critical endpoints. And here we go and update the ticket on a daily basis. We now going to affect the other 2 points. One of them is the rollback procedure, and then there's going to be the actual data recovering at the very end. As you can see, this type of work, it's a work that an MSP without the tools integrating could have done, but jumping through different softwares. And this is incredibly, it doesn't allow you to be as efficient as you want to be. So now what we're going to do is go and restore the files that our friend had on OneDrive, because luckily enough, they also had SaaS protection with them, which is a backup of their Office 365 domains. As a result, we can go and actually pick up the type of information that we need, in this instance, OneDrive, pick up the person and the domain that we're actually covering, which in this case, I believe it was Walter Richards, and then decide exactly what are the files, as you can see, that we want to restore. So again, we've been able to actually restore the files on the physical instance, as well as the files that they have on the cloud. We're doing this in a matter of minutes. All we've done is we started with PSA, we moved on to RMM, and just by clicking around, we've been able to give all these other different services to the end user, while the end user is waiting. And it's literally, as we're doing this live, 10 minutes in, and we already resolved 75% of the issue. So we'll go ahead and restore the actual data. Now, this is actually going to enable the client to go and access again the information on the go. At this point, what we're doing is we're actually putting him in a position to start working again. What we've done is we've put the server back in production. What we've done is we've downloaded the actual files in the cloud, and then there's going to be just one point missing. The other point is actually how are we going to be able to get him up and running on his device. As you can see, now we're actually seeing the backup if I restore, which is the restore that we've done with our SaaS protection, and you will be able to see the latest documents that Walter has saved. As at the very beginning, what he's done is move the documents and sync it to OneDrive. Here it is. You can see they're temporary files with the actual extension of the file itself. So again, we can call the client and say, hey, you're now able to access your files in OneDrive in case of an issue. And that's critical for the end user, because literally in a few minutes from calling you, they've got that that presentation that they were working on already available in their hands, and you wasted no time doing it. There's a step more that we can actually do, and this comes through our cloud continuity agent, which is actually virtualize their endpoint. So in this case, we want to be able to give Walter the opportunity of having the files back into his endpoint. And this is exactly the last step that we're going to be doing, which is going and adding again that information directly onto the device. See, now what they're doing is that they're going into a bootable, putting it from the hard drive. We're starting again on our virtual machine. Literally, it's all taken a few seconds. And the good thing about it is that I'm a commercial guy and I'm explaining these steps to you, as in my technical abilities are very, very limited. And as my friends from NSS know, I had troubles coming on the WebEx. So imagine doing a disaster recovery demo by itself, but it's such an easy and fast process that it can actually be done with a couple of clicks by a complete incompetent like me. But back to the point. What we're doing is now we're actually enabled to restore those files, as we said, from the cloud continuity by offering a rapid rollback solution. There's also the opportunity, in case of a loss of hardware, to do a bare metal restore, which would be putting those files that we've actually put in the cloud directly from the endpoint into a new device, in case the client loses the device or they forget it on the train, whatever it may be. But in this instance, because the client has it, what we're going to be doing is just we're going to do a rapid rollback to the instance before the ransomware attack, before all the actual files were starting to get encrypted and change the extensions. So as you can see, we've selected Walter Richards here. We've got his IP address, we've got the operating system, we've got all the information, and here are all the backups that we've done locally on the endpoint. These are all healthy ones, as you can see. They're all green points, and now we're starting to restore it. And literally, this is coming back off of the data cloud and into the device of the client. So at this stage, once we confirm the actual rollback, the client is going to be able to access the files already. Once it's terminated, they will be able to switch on their device again, and they will be able to get working and get started again. So this pretty much closes the part of the one data, where you can see we've gone across the full lifeline from opening a ticket to actual resolution of the ticket itself. In a matter of a few seconds, we've saved the client from a potential ransomware disaster, and we've given them back our data. And this is absolutely incredible. And I will dare you, anybody on the chat, to tell me of one vendor that does the same thing. And again, I will do the next webinar in Greek. But moving on, I will also tell you, well, all right, you show me this great stuff. This is great, but does this make sense for me? All right, well, let's go and see, because there's also a business element to this. It's not just fun and games. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing a cute little presentation. And I do appreciate you for the patience that you have in as well. Here we are, and we're capturing the theme again of beyond productivity. Why are we going and talking about beyond productivity? Because that's exactly what we're doing. We're being as productive as we can be, if not more, by using the data products. So as you can see, we offer a wide range of tools for you to be efficient. On the far right, what you will see is the PSA and the Datto RMM, which are effectively the management aspect for the MSP. PSA, you can think of it as an ERP for MSPs, specifically designed for them. And the RMM is the tool that we saw you need to actually deliver the services and connect to everything else. We then have on the left side growth products, which enable you to create a new revenue stream, which is the unified continuity, which is what we saw in detail today with the restore of physical servers, of virtual servers, of devices. Then we have the cloud continuity. We have opportunity of restoring endpoints directly. and the SaaS application protection from recovering OneDrive files, for example. On top of that, the networking offering, which we saw was completely integrated with our RMM solution, enables you to monitor and manage the actual network of a client. So you can be in full control, that you can act quickly when there's an issue. And then we have the file sync and share, which I like to define as a Google Drive on steroids, which adds a lot of security to file sharing and actually gets rid of VPNs if need be. But now, how does this help me, Matteo? Let's get to the point. So what we've done in this demo is we've automated a number of processes. Before the Unify platform, an MSP would have had to stop at every single point and actually start a new software, look if the data is correct. They don't have this glue that puts it all together. Now, that makes you save a lot of time. As we all know, time is money. At the end of the day, the question is, if you could save 10 minutes of your time every day, what would you do with it? It doesn't have to be business. You say, well, I want to spend more time with my kids. Well, hey, here you have it. We're giving you a way of optimizing yourself. But based on 100 euros cost per hour for a technician, if we were to save 10 minutes every day, that would save you about 6,000 euros a year. So we're talking about an investment that actually pays for itself. It's not a bad thing. On top of that, what happens when you have a single platform? So you can consolidate and have a single point of data. There's literally no way of misinterpreting data, but it's all coming from the same point. So if you want to do an analysis, if you want to have reporting, you're always going to get the same result. And that's massive, especially in terms of growth for a company when you have to take decisions quickly. You can also increase your service offering through our integrations. As you'll see later on with Password Boss, of course, we integrate well with them, and you can automate parts of the installation by using the RMM feature. And Datto as itself has around 17,000, if not more, MSP partners worldwide. You can also leverage our community. We've been on the MSP space since 2007, so we've seen a lot of things happen. And a lot of these things are starting to happen in Europe now as well. We've seen the trend, and we can help with this growth. Our goal in the very end is to build great technology, sell it as a recurring revenue, which is the recurring revenue of the MSP, and deliver it through you guys, through the channel. And ultimately, our commitment to the client is that we're always going to be investing and always going to carry momentum in the products that we have. We're going to give you the experience that we have of our people, of our consultants, of our implementation managers, and give you the best services possible. We will tell you and we will strive to give the best platform in terms of security and reliability. We have guaranteed uptime of 99.9% on our PSA and RMM platform based on AWS. We considerably do penetration testing and strive to get every new certification that is out to make sure that you've got the best platform and that you can sleep at night. As you may know, for some other platforms, they've had incidents that didn't allow the MSP to sleep well at night. We also like to keep an open ecosystem. If you want to use other vendors to do some parts of the demo that you saw earlier, that is completely fine by us. We're going to keep on developing the part of the integration, and we're going to keep the ecosystem as open as possible. All we want to do is literally make your life easier in delivering the services. And the good thing about the MSP is that we've got a very simple pricing and very transparent pricing, in the sense that you will know at the beginning of the month exactly how much you will spend to deliver services. So you're going to get a clear margin at every single point. And that's pretty much it from me. Thank you for dealing with 30 minutes of my voice. I hope I didn't put you to sleep. And stay tuned, because there is actually something quite exciting coming next, which is a very, very good offer that you shouldn't be missing. Thank you again.
Thank you, Matteo. It was you saved the day. It was the way you presented this total disaster recovery, and we all know there are some very heavy cases of ransomware that didn't only destroy reputations but businesses as well.
Exactly.
But you also saved the day because you went over the glitch we had with the video and the voice, and you should work on this. Don't take it on yourself. You're a very good presenter.
Thank you very much.
So we thank you for the very interesting presentation, and let's move on to George Koumitsis, who is the commercial director of NSS. And I think you will deal with the surprise that Matteo mentioned a bit earlier, right?
Okay, hi everybody. We have a surprise. If you are paying attention to the presentation, at the end we will have a voucher for those that can answer the question fast and correct. So we will have a productivity trivial. So pay particular attention to the following presentation because most of the questions comes in the following presentation. As we saw from Matteo, Datto is an excellent solution for MSP to unify their business offering and create profitable revenue. We are going to dive deeper a little bit on unified offering in order to see how these services can be delivered using Datto technology. The basic platform of BCDR, as Datto is calling the unified platform, is called Series, which is optimized for the MSP business. As we can understand from Datto logic, it's something that we can unify, manage from the same console as we are managing all the Datto related services. And this is platform which we can do the local backup and recovery and the cloud backup and recovery. It is available as a virtual machine or a hardware. And the way we try to position this solution in the market is to minimize the OpEx, because MSP business is living on OpEx, and usually CapEx may create issues. So from technology point of view, there is an appliance, virtual or hardware. If it is hardware, it is better because this is going to help us to have better availability in case of a hardware issue inside of on a hardware system. And the system takes backup every 5 minutes, for example, and then we have an offsite replica on offsite location to data cloud. This gives us the option to be able to have multiple choice when we are about to restore the data. If the problem is something logical, we can start the business locally using the resources, because series machines are powerful machine, and we can boot the system and have a server with all the data and start running in a few minutes. But if the problem is a disaster, when we have lose completely a production site, we can have the same functionality in the cloud in a similar time based. So Datto has great technology. It is fully integrated in this one Datto offering, and the best in order to create profitable services, it has predictable pricing and very simple pricing. Let's go to see how we can make this offering more sexy. For example, if we have a customer that it is committed to have this service from us, we have two cloud, for example, disaster risk recovery services. One it is called time-based retention, meaning that we have a retention period of 1 year in cloud, and the other is infinite cloud, meaning without a limit for the years. And let's say if the customer is committed, let's say that he's going to have this service from us for 2 years, he's going to take the hardware for free, meaning that he could have a very valuable resources, of course, without any cost, and they simply have to pay the subscription, our service offering on this particular, because our MSP is building services out of this offering. They take it, this subscription, and they offer their labor cost and the manpower, and they provide him one per product of them. So if it is for 2 years, it's completely free. The hardware, if it is for 1 year, hardware discount is 45%. For example, an average customer of S&P can be managed using a system like a Xeon 2143. We have a 8 cores and 60 threads on this, which means that we can even use this system to run some of the critical machines if there is such option. And we are going to have to use this device with 2 terabyte usable data with local and cloud disaster recovery capabilities. And for 2 years, it's going to cost nothing, the hardware. And the service cost from Datto, if it is for 1 year retention, is just 271 euros per month. And remember that Datto has already built for us infrastructure in the cloud. They have the machine inside the customer on-premise in order to have a perfect on-site, meaning that this service is very difficult from a customer, from a reseller and competitor of us to build on their own, because they need to offer them or to consume from the customer resources. But we are giving resources on both on-premise and on cloud in order to offer him a very, very nice service, but it's going to save him time in case or in case they have a disaster. And if we want to have, let's say, without limit retention, it's simply 30 euros per month more. Imagine that you can find a single file that was created 3 years ago by using such a service, and you don't pay storages or anything like this. All this data are in cloud, and somebody else has paid for you. So really, really nice services and can create good opportunities with our customers. Very nice services can be created. Similar example with bigger environment, more data. The only that change is the amount of money that we have to pay each month. This is, and most important, they have been designed to be really, really attractive in order, because we try to make them these services as OpEx as possible. Try to use us in an opportunity to see how much money you can save and how much money you can make by offering such services. All of them are based in the technology of one Datto, but also in a very nice backup technology that Datto has for the backup and disaster recovery, and all the investment from the side of Datto that they have made. For us, this is a very nice offering, and in general, Datto is a great tool for all MSP because they can do for us many things, optimize our business and create profitable services. And also, as NSS, we have looked in this opportunity, and we always try to complement solutions that we have, having on our minds what is the issues that a potential MSP of ours is going to have. So for this reason, this year we have decided to complement Datto solution with a password management, and password management specific designed for MSP, because so far we used enterprise password management solution that usually they were designed for companies that enterprise companies that they would like to have solution of their own. Password Boss, which we have the luck to have one of the founders here, Steve, coming from America. Good morning, Steve. Is the solution we have selected mainly because it is MSP centric. So welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Happy to be here and happy to talk with everybody today. Let me get my screen shared here. There we go. We'll just go ahead and jump in. A lot of companies probably haven't heard of Password Boss yet, especially in the Southern Europe region. But Password Boss has actually been around for quite a while. I actually founded the company back in 2014, and this was just after I had previous to this, I was actually an MSP, like a lot of the people on the call today, and ran an MSP for 9 years. So we have a very strong understanding of the MSP community, supporting customers, the challenges with that, the different technologies that people use. And honestly, the rest of the people at Password Boss have a lot of experience in the MSP channel and the MSP community as well. In fact, we added that up, and there's over 125 years of industry experience at Password Boss. So we know the channel very well. In a lot of cases, we've helped to build it. You know, what you're going to find is that we are the only password management tool that exists that's built for MSPs by an MSP that's a complete end-to-end solution. And what we mean by that is that, you know, there's other tools out there, but as you've seen from the previous demos, the efficiencies that you can get from a tool that's fully integrated with your workflow and with the tools that you're doing, it makes your lives easier and allows you to solve tickets faster. And if we take a look at, sorry, there we go. Just a little bit on the landscape of passwords. We hear about, you know, the ransomware is in the news. The security breaches are in the news all the time. And there's some very interesting statistics. These statistics come out of the US, but they hold up very well around the rest of the world as well. And that 81% of security breaches that occur today are coming from weak or stolen passwords. Passwords are the weak spot. You know, people will come out, they'll get a phishing email, they'll click on the link and they'll type in their password. I got a call yesterday from a colleague of mine whose business went through the exact same scenario, occurred just yesterday, right? So this is happening, and it's happening to, you know, largely small businesses, the businesses that most MSPs are supporting. It's happening to Fortune 500, you know, the large companies, the large companies out there, but the bulk of these security breaches are actually coming in at the small business level. A lot of them don't make the news, like the big ones that we see in the news, but they are occurring all the time. And the vast majority of your customers today don't have anything to protect their passwords. And if they're using a spreadsheet out on the network that's called passwords.xls, or, you know, using the same password everywhere, or weak passwords, they are ripe for some sort of a security breach or some sort of an attack. And preventing security breaches, the first step in that is strong passwords. And the challenge, though, with passwords is, I'm sure everybody on the call today knows, is that for a password to be strong, it has to be long and complicated. And you really can't use the same password anywhere other than the one location that you're using it. If you're reusing passwords, as soon as a security breach occurs and your passwords are stolen, what the attackers will do is they will take those passwords and they will try them against every online service or every online site that they can find to see where else you've used that password so that they can break in this year. And a password manager cannot prevent an attack from occurring, but it can mitigate or reduce the risks or the damage if and when an attack occurs. Because if the passwords that you're using are all unique and you've only used the passwords at one site or one location or one server, if somebody were to breach that site or that server and retrieve a password, the damage is limited to just a single location, right? So, but if you're using the same password for your bank and for all of your social media and maybe some of your client sites, or hopefully you're not using the same password for all of the admin accounts for all of your customers, right? You can't do that anymore, because as soon as a password is leaked in some fashion, you know, the damage can spread across your entire business. And it's really not possible to implement the best practices for passwords unless you've got a tool to do it for you, right? There's no way that you're going to remember hundreds of unique passwords for hundreds of unique sites and be able to change those and still be able to remember those. But with Password Boss, that's what we bring. We have a simple to use, very strongly secured password database that will log you into all of your sites, that will log you into remote servers and workstations, that integrates with the different workflows that you're doing. We've got great integrations with Datto. So if you're logging into a remote session with Datto, Password Boss can actually log you into that remote device so that your technicians don't need to go look for the passwords, don't need to copy and paste the passwords from wherever you've got them now, which also allows you to have every device to have its own unique password. And some of the benefits of Password Boss in bringing in a centralized password management database like we offer is that you're actually able to take all of your customers' passwords that you're managing and secure those in one secure location and give your technicians access to them when and where they need those passwords. So you can securely share passwords amongst your team. You can provide different permissions. Maybe some people can't see the password, but they can still use the password. We make that possible. Or you can allow your team to have full access to those passwords to be able to update and change the passwords. All of those are possibilities with Password Boss. And one of the nice benefits of implementing and rolling out Password Boss to your customers is that once your customers have started using Password Boss and they've migrated and imported and entered all of their passwords into Password Boss, they can't stop using the product anymore simply because they don't know their passwords, right? So what happens is Password Boss ends up becoming a very sticky product with your customers. They can't stop using it. And as you're providing Password Boss to your customers, that helps to create a sticky relationship between you and your customers. And one of the other big benefits of having a password manager like Password Boss rolled out to your customers is actually a reduction in client tickets. There's a large percentage of the tickets that end users end up opening up over the course of a month that are related to passwords. Lost passwords, forgotten passwords, somebody needs access to a password that they don't have access to, and how do they do that? And with Password Boss, we can largely eliminate a lot of those password support tickets, which is going to free up your technicians' time to work on bigger, more productive tickets, right? So there's some nice efficiencies that your team will get by implementing Password Boss internally, and then as well rolling that out to your end user customers. And with the security landscape as it exists today, having password management in your security stack really allows you to separate yourself from your competition, showing that you're leading with a security focus. And you really need to start thinking of password management the same way that you think of antivirus. Every computer that you manage is going to have antivirus on it. And every one of your customers' computers is also going to have password management on it in very short order. So you really need to think of including Password Boss in your basic stack that you're taking out to all of your end user customers. And with Password Boss, we do make it easy to roll out your product, roll out Password Boss to your customers, because we can easily integrate with all of the popular RMMs that are out there. Whatever you're using to roll out software now, you can roll out Password Boss with. And sorry, there we go. And we do have a lot of different integrations. As I said earlier, we are built by an MSP for MSPs, and we are the only end-to-end solution in the industry that covers all of the needs of passwords for MSPs. We've got great integrations with Datto. You can easily roll out Password Boss with the RMM. Autotask PSA, we can log you into remote systems as well. We can even update your billing contracts that you're sending out of your PSAs with user accounts in Password Boss, so you don't have to manually count up the users at the end of the month before you can bill your customers. But we also work with a lot of other tools too. So If you're using any of the other tools that are on the screen, we work with those as well. And again, what we're trying to do is really bring some efficiencies into your workflow so that your team can get through tickets quicker and solve your customer issues faster and keep your customers very happy. And next, we're going to switch over and we're going to have a quick tour of Password Boss to show you the product in action.
Steve, thank you so much for your presentation. I think the presentation is escalating in both quality enterprises. We have a wonderful unified platform with RMM, PSA. We see what one Datto can do. Now we have the protection of passwords through Password Boss. As George Kapaniris, our executive director, mentioned in his in our late press release, we are thrilled, and we mean that, to have you as a partner, and we believe we can do a lot of things here in the southeastern part of Europe. So, but since we've talked about this, I think we have prepared a working demo where we have Datto and Password Boss working together. Is that right, Sofia and Tassos?
Yes, we have prepared with Sofia a short demo.
Hello again.
Using Datto. Hello, everybody, also. Prepare a demo using a Password Boss and the Datto to resolve a ticket request.
Okay, who's going to share the platform?
I'll share my screen.
So let me give you the access to that.
Okay.
By the way, Tassos Vereses is our sales engineer here at NSS, and you have the right to share now.
Perfect. Just to let you know, this demo, the scenario is that Sofia has created the Datto interface, and on the Password Boss side, has the passwords and has shared the passwords to me without knowing the passwords, and we will use it right now. I will share my screen.
Please do.
Let me know if you can see my screen.
It's all loud and clear.
Perfect.
So are you going to be explaining us what we see?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I have logged in. I will log in on a NSS demo that I have created. I will log in using the credentials through the Password Boss.
Okay.
And in this stage, I will. It's very good to know you that the 2FA that needs that Password Boss has already built in. So and the 2FA access logged in using Datto.
So it was an immediate access.
Yes, it was very, very fast.
Okay.
Here is the PSA screen. Sofia has created this interface for me. It's a customizable. So I have my desktop using my tickets, my ticket summary, my SLA response that I have. This is widgets that we have in the Datto. There's a service manager, for example, tab, which is new open tickets, which is overdue tickets, for example, which priority tickets have, as you can see, have many medium tickets. Service history for the last 7 days, for example. Everything is customizable here. The sales manager about the opportunities that we have. The sales history, what we have done, for example, in the past 90 days. The project managers, which is the ongoing projects, remaining hours for the projects, which is overdue, for example. Some tasks that we have to do. And there's some CRM dashboard by priority. For example, maybe we have some many territories for Southeast, Northwest, for example, and we can see what's going on the territories. So I will go back to my desktop. I'll open my tickets. I have a ticket which is assigned by Sofia. It's a critical ticket, as we can see. This is my ticket, the time that I'm spent on the ticket. This is my asset that has the issue. And this needs to go to firewall, to log into the firewall and see what is going on the firewall side. So I will log into the workstation. I have web remote console, which is HTML5. We have also many other we can log in with other methods, but this is the best, like the HTML.
It's pretty similar to the demo we've seen by Matteo.
Yes,
right?
this is a live demo. It's a live right now.
Well,
This is the HTML.
the other one was live too when it was recorded.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Yes, but we have credential in Password Boss.
Yes.
We will log in with Password Boss.
Actually, Matteo made it live speaking on the over the video.
Very nice. Now I have logged in on my desktop, the workstation that needs to access the firewall side. Here the HTML5 have the new UI that have, for example, the online keyboard preferences, file transfer. I can upload download file. I can see the performance of the system. So now I will log in to the system using Password Boss and the credentials which shared from my colleague Sofia. Here, Sophos XZ demo. I will log into the firewall.
So I don't know if I missed it, but you,
Let me know.
Sophia, actually shared the credentials with you, right?
Yes, but
Yes.
password is invisible.
Okay.
Yes, and also I don't have the right to change it, for example, or to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we made the troubleshooting scenarios, we can make the things, everything is okay, for example. Okay, now we can close the window, can close the asset, and we can mark as complete the ticket, the time that we'll spend 2 minutes, for example.
So the start of this demo is that you actually had to exchange passwords, had to exchange credentials, but you did it through Password Boss in a way that it was completely safe and secure. And the job was done. The passwords weren't exchanged, and nothing got out of it, right? I mean, no leaks, nothing.
Nothing.
In terms of password.
Yes, and I don't know the passwords. Now I'll show you the DataRM, the new UI that we have. This is a new user interface of Datto. I have two devices on the NSS demo side, the clock, some widget, some nodes that I will have. Webinar, sites, NSS demo. This is the workstation that we have logged in, and the Sophos XZ demo, the firewall that we have logged in. For example, we can see the statistics of the firewall using the SLMV traps. Monitor some related devices. Related devices is the workstation that we have logged in, which have access to the firewall for the admin purposes. Also, some statistics about the desktop software that we can install, for example, the installed software from the device, some information. This is from me. If you have any questions, you can write me down, and I will log out right now.
Steve, since we have you here, I mean, are there any other functionalities you can distinguish here you could use?
Well, certainly with the really big productivity boost that Password Boss brings to the team is the ability to log into remote sessions. And when you do that, your team doesn't even necessarily have to have access to see the password, because we can do that in most cases transparently, so that your team can have access to the device and log in, but they don't know which password it is that they're using. So that is a big benefit. And the other side of this too is also on the billing side, when you're generating your invoices out of Autotask and sending those to the customer, with Password Boss, in our multi-tenant portal, you actually have the ability to take all of the licenses that you've applied for a customer and update those on your billing contracts before you send them out. So again, that's just another time saver that we built into the platform that makes it easy to, it saves you a bit of time.
So I
It
hope
works
you
pretty nice with the Datto PSA. You create an API user and you can have directly from Password Boss customers and products that you are able to invoice as services in Datto PSA, both subscription. It's you can map even the subscription from the Password Boss to Datto PSA. Really nice integration.
So I hope you guys were paying attention, because our last surprise of the day is a productivity trivial game with price of 150, I believe, euros. George, you have to, anyone who wants to participate should click on the link I've provided on the chat, kahoot.it. And you will see on your screen a PIN number. So once you open your browser, and let me do that myself as well, I promise I won't compete. So
the number is 1332502.
So you have to insert that PIN on the Kahoot page you were landed, and then choose a nickname.
Maybe it makes sense to download the application on your phone. This is faster. If you don't use the website that Panos said, you can also use the application.
So we see people joining the game. Let's see if we're gonna have
I can't join because I won it last time we tried it, so I'm disqualified.
Well, that's true, Matteo. You didn't only win, but you made I think I was the best score ever. It was 12 quadrillion. So if we're ready, we can start the game.
But let's wait a little bit because I think we have some more participants that.
Okay, let's do that. I mean, while we're waiting, I mean, is there anyone else wants to offer something for this game? So, George, do you also, are you going to show us your Alpha Bank credentials? George, I think you're sharing the wrong game screen.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Now we are in the correct.
All right. So
I
let's start the
think,
game.
is anyone having problem? Please write on the chat. We can troubleshoot and we can wait 1 minute if we have anyone not able to join.
Theo, did you join with fake name?
Oh, I'm gonna let the others win this time.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's go for 150 euros. You have to be correct.
Is it per question or in total?
In total.
Okay.
So let's go. Which Datto solution allows MSP to bill accurately for services? Datto PCDR, Datto RMM, Datto PSA Autotask, Datto Commerce.
Is it one choice only or a multiple choice?
One choice only.
Okay.
And you have to be fast also.
Okay.
Correct and fast. It's indeed Datto PSA. So let's see who is. Cocorico is leading, but we have.
Not for long.
Not for long. Yes, correct. Let's go. Multi-select and double points, meaning that can you name 3 Datto RMM features? Audit, patch management, remote monitoring and access, password management. Remember, we are talking about only DataRM functionality, and not functionality you can have with a solution that DataRM can integrate. To help, three answers are correct here. Yes, yes. The only thing missing is password management. That's why we have collaboration with Password Boss. And we will have changes.
So on our next webinar, we should have a four correct questions, right?
No. We have to have difficult games. Multi-select again and 3 double points. The Datto Unify platform consists of which solution? Datto RMM, Datto PSA, Datto PCDR, Datto Firewall. One answer is wrong on this. All the others are the correct. Remember, Datto has also switches. Yes, Datto do not have a firewall. This is the correct answer. So, George, your view is leading right now. And YM is very close.
And CA should be third. So
True or false? The
we could have a
DataRM
song.
platforms enables automated Microsoft and third-party patching. Yes or not?
Oh, that's easy.
Remember, if you are not sure, be sure that the product is doing this. Yes, correct. Giorgio is leading again. What is the discount of hardware on PCDR promo with 2 years commitment? 45, 50, 100%, 15%.
You can zoom into the picture if you want, but it'll take some time.
Perhaps the picture is a trap.
Oh, so me picking 15% could be right? No?
It's 100%, meaning that it is a full OPEX offering. This is a very good offering by Datto. And remember, Datto does not have only PCDR solution, but has also cloud-based solution. Let's see. What is the percentage of security breaches that come from weak or stolen password? 81%, 10%, 100%, 15%. It's very important when you need to highlight it to customers, because this is a key thing to highlight. It's 81%. Let's go to question that it's a little bit trap. How many total years of MSP expertise does Password Boss have from industry experts? How many totals? Not how many years. So it's a kind of tricky question here. Yes, it's 125. There is a rule. If you're not sure, put the big number. Then we have very close. Why me and Giorgio? Name the application of Datto that Password Boss has integration with. Datto PSA, Datto RMM, both, none. So we have 9 correct answers, and we have the podium here. Number 3, George Quem. Number 2, YM, very close, and number 1 is George Georgiou, please send us an email send us your email to chat in order to communicate with you about the voucher.
Okay, well, what I enjoy most in this game is your enjoyment, George, about this game. It's your best part of the presentation. So,
There is a question, I think, on the chat.
is there? When I'm logging into web remote password, well, it's we will answer questions at the end of the session. So, let's have a wrap up. And the best for this is our executive director, George Kapaniris, here at NSS. So would you like to share something with us, George?
Hello, everyone. Can you see my screen?
We do, but it's kind of rightwards. It's off.
Is it better now?
A little bit more. Okay.
All right. So hello, everyone. My name is George Kapaniris, and I'm the Executive Director of NSS. I want to thank our partners from Datto and Password Boss for their presentation. It was, I'm sure that all of you have enjoyed what we've seen. I hope you have realized how important it is for an MSP to use these tools to achieve automation for their everyday tasks. In short, to get more of your money when your organization achieves economies of scale using our tools. So this is our product portfolio. Our scope and vision here at NSS since the beginning is to create a special portfolio of products and services that integrate to each other in order to create innovative solutions that can make our partners' lives easier and their customers happy. Especially for MSPs, we are constantly introducing more solutions that can be incorporated to the existing offering, being a one-stop shop for MSPs. And our aim is to provide solutions that can solve all service delivery and security management issues so that you can be more competitive. Using NSS products, you are able to easily improve your productivity and automation, ensuring security across all levels at the same time. Today, we've seen next generation integrated solutions that can automate MSP tasks, having a 360 view of your entire operation. It's very easy to know instantly what's due, what's billable, which employees are underutilized, and which customers are most profitable. Using the system automations, you can execute important tasks that normally need to run by a human much slower. So using this methodology, you can manage a higher number of customers with fewer employees. Instead of hiring more technical resources, you can invest in automation tools so that you can enhance your capacity and be able to enhance metrics of your business. So what are your resources currently working on? What is coming up next week? Are all of your customers secure? Have the customer backups on-site and in the cloud finished successfully? Are the customer passwords complex enough so that there is no risk of password guessing? So today, we have a big shift from capital expenditure, CapEx, to operational expenditure, OpEx, meaning that end customers need to use first-class solutions as a service without a high cost of ownership. This type of service is ideal for SMBs who have limited resources because they do not have money to go for enterprise solutions. Therefore, there is a need for managed service providers, and this will grow very much in the next year. That's what we predict, and that's what the analysts are saying. So cloud computing has changed everything in today's operation. It's not a coincidence at all that all the MSP consoles that we have seen today run exclusively in the cloud. There are no on-premise systems except, of course, the hardware appliances for the backup and BCDR, for the BCDR that we have seen, which need to be local but are still managed in the cloud. So I will now stress some MSP best practices that will help you to understand better why we have selected these products in our product portfolio. So first is standardization. An MSP makes money out of well-defined processes that provide a roadmap for business operation to streamline efficiency and make data-driven decisions to improve service delivery, team productivity and profitability, ensuring business continuity of your customers. So MSPs need to define and document repeatable processes. To profitably deliver economically valuable technical services at scale, MSPs must also make that delivery consistently repeatable. A part of the standardization benefit, if everybody does everything differently, some of them will do it wrong. Some of them will also take more time to do it, which invalidates pricing. And some of them will do it right and quickly, but will do it in a way that confuses the customer. So inadequately defined and documented processes also make MSPs vulnerable to staff turnover, since a new hire cannot quickly replicate the behavior of someone who just left the company. Number two is MSP needs to sell everything as a service. So the market is constantly changing. Software as a service and other cloud services offer customers a low capex approach to technology implementation. It's important for MSPs to capitalize on this trend, so they need to rethink of everything as a service. So to offer everything as a service. Customers very soon will not want to be involved in the ownership of servers, networks, storage arrays, databases, and others, but will just want to use them for as long as they want and for as many users as they desire. That might change in time in bigger or lower numbers. So you may need to figure out ways you can to provide customers with capabilities on a pay-as-you-go basis. Bundling and white labeling is the number three. So a very important thing is that MSPs need to give a price for a fully bundled value. Previous business models were splitting pricing into two silos. So marked up capital goods, which are typically low margin, and hourly itemized services, typically high margin. A recurring revenue model requires eliminating the traditional notions of both markup and itemized services. Instead, equipment and labor costs are opaque to the customer, while pricing is based on total value to the customer rather than a markup on total cost. So profitability depends on maximizing value to the customer while controlling the costs. Last but not least is the customer satisfaction. So perhaps the most important principle to bear in mind is that a recurring revenue model forces an MSP to focus more on customer satisfaction, since revenue and profits ultimately depend on retention and renewals of the service. So MSPs that don't structure their services and staff incentives to support customer satisfaction will thus wind up having to constantly chase new customers, which is not nearly as lucrative as keeping existing ones. And always remember, an expansion plan for existing accounts can contribute at least as much to business growth as prospecting to new ones. So MSPs need to keep service delivery as simple as possible. In order to do that, we have to help them to limit the number of the moving parts that need to be integrated. And that's what we do in NSS. So it also helps them not to have to manage an excessive number of vendor relationships to create a complex cost structure. So we are able to deliver a complete solution that can help MSP achieve all of their objectives. And this is exactly the reason why we've selected these specific tools as a distributor, because they are all integrated together and they can be optimized to work as one, saving time and money from customers that use them and MSPs who drive them. Thank you.
We thank you, George. That was a machine gun statement, but you said it all. And I could keep that we need to do things for our clients more simple, more secure, and more integrated to each other. And indeed, this is what we saw today. We saw the excellent use of both RMM and PSA as a platform, and with we saw what one Datto can do, and then we were let's say we were actually astonished by how simple it is to use a secure password and to transfer password without having all the risk of, as Password Boss says, being one of the 10.5 billion stolen passwords that are actually on sale on the dark web. So don't be, let's not be one of these passwords. Thank you all for participating in this 90 minutes webinar. We made it. I don't think we have a lot of questions. Actually, I have a few personal questions, but one personal question is for George again. Some people want your bank details since you show them your screen. but for
they want to buy the Password Boss.
they want to deposit money.
Yes,
I
yes.
believe.
Just to say, we have a very attractive pricing in order to introduce Password Boss in the market. Only
So-
1.5 euros per month per user.
So can you say that again? Because
1.5 euros
1.5
per
euros
user
per month.
unlimited devices, unlimited passwords.
Okay. Is
It's-
this webinar's offer or is it?
Yes, webinar offers.
Okay.
Only people who hear this offer is valid.
Okay. And since we're talking about offers, is your offer valid for the rest of the month, Matteo, or is it for longer?
Yeah, I think it's to celebrate the arrival of summer, right? So we should keep it for the full month of June.
Okay. Summer ends on the 21st of September, if I'm not wrong.
We're celebrating the
Yes,
start.
in
and
Greece,
the
the start
is
of
very
summer
good.
is.
And in
The
Greece,
start is
summer
very
is around 8 months. So
It's going to be an English summer, but
okay,
two,
okay.
2 weeks
So
of
let's go back to some more serious question, which says, when logging in to the web remote, is the Password Boss integration storing the password on the clipboard at any point?
So when Password Boss is integrating with Datto and logging into remote sessions, we can do that in several different ways. The full integration you're going to find with the agent browser component, where we can transmit the username and password all the way into the remote session and log you in, and that data does not hit the clipboard. We are working on the same type of integration to be building for the web remote client. That doesn't exist yet, but that is in the works. So at this point, it would be a copy paste through the web remote. For a full integration with no copy paste, that's where the agent browser would come in.
Okay. Okay. So unless you have a question to make to each other, we don't have anything more to say. Just to thank you, Steve Wise, for the first opportunity to be with us on a webinar. I believe that our next event is going to be real life, not online. So
Thank you
your
for the
things.
opportunity.
We have an extended summer. Don't forget that. Matteo, thank you again for being with us. You're very close. You know what's happening here, so you're more than welcome to visit us. Thank you, Sophia and Tasso, from our
Thank you for the
sales
time.
department in NSS. Thank you, George, and thank you, George, again. And I hope we can all meet again on a real life event anytime soon. So you have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.